Welcome back to my dating diaries. This is Elizabeth. I should call this my waiting diaries because this is the wait. I am not actually dating. I haven't found anybody that I can date. But I still believe that God will send his kingman. But today, of course, I am on the road, and these series of videos is just sharing the different bits of our journey and walk in Christ. We work, we live life, we may have kids, we having to pay bills, like all the things, and still take care of ourselves. In today's video I want to talk a little bit about self-care. In the last video I talked about family circumstances, and I touched on self-care. I touched on the need, especially when you're a caregiver, to take care of yourself. I think in many other videos I talk about self-care in a different way, but today I want to talk about self-care. During this month at our church, one of the scriptures, or one of the books of the Bible that we touched on, has been Esther. And during this season, or during this time of what do I want to call it, of study, of meditation on the word, of understanding the word, one of the things that stood out to me was Esther's ability to wait. And during her wait, she had people that directed her on self-care. So before Esther, and I don't know if you remember the story, but before Esther got married to the king, so we have to remember that there was a Vashti. Vashti just mucked things up. She messed it up for herself. She was the queen. Her husband, who was the king, was having this elaborate party, and he partied for months. He partied for months. I think it was about 3 months. And during the 3 months, he sent for his wife. Like, he was so, filled with joy. Of course, he, was very filled with spirits, liberal. And he wanted his wife to come because she was beautiful, and he wanted to show her off to his friends. And Vashti did not show up. She embarrassed the king, and he discussed with his counselors, like, what am I supposed to be doing? And so one of the things that the counselors talked to him about was, if she, as the queen, is doing this, imagine what will happen to the noble people, like the regular people. What would happen to these husbands? Their wives won't submit to them. And so she was banished from the castle, or wherever it was, and they went through a series of having to find a new queen. And during the time that they were trying to find a queen, Esther, she connected with one of the kings. I don't know what we call them now, because I want to try to say it in layman's terms, because some things in the Bible can seem so far-fetched. But anyway, so let's just say you have a housekeeper or house help, and he had many housekeepers. So one of the housekeepers was able to tell her what he liked. And during this year of her, she took certain baths and used oils and all these things on her skin, and there was certain regimens that she used. And for me, it stood out because although I am in wellness, there are some things that I pay more attention to than others. And one of the things, I go and get a massage, I get my hair and nails done, but I never created a regimen for myself. I don't have a self-care routine per se. And so one of the things that I started doing from revelation, or understanding Esther's creation, was creating this regiment. So now taking warm baths, so starting with a warm bath or a shower, and then ending with a cold So opening the pores, cleansing the skin, and then applying moisturizers and stuff. And so I didn't know what was like appropriate for my skin, what I liked, what I know I would be around some people that smell really, really good, and you can tell that their skin was glowing and their skin looked dewy and their skin looked nice, and I wanted that. I really wanted that for myself. I want my skin to look supple and beautiful and glowing, but I didn't know the routine that I needed to take. I didn't know what I needed to be doing. And I'm not trying to tell you or teach you how to do what I do. I'm just telling you that there are some things that we need to do while we're in waiting, so that when we are married and we have kids, we have a system. We have things that we do to manicure ourselves. We have things that we do to take care of our skin, our health, our bodies. Another thing that I started doing over the last month has been I started going to spin classes. So I always worked out, but as my schedule got busier, I felt as if, and not that I stopped working out, but I just felt as if I had reached a threshold with myself. Like I needed to push myself a little bit more to ensure that my heart rate can increase, that that I'm able to sustain myself if I go on a hike. Like I just was thinking about all the things. I want to make sure that I can live a long life. So some of the things that my family experience is having heart failure. And not that they didn't work out, some people work out, but I think there was a threshold. So it's like making sure that your heart can increase, like you can increase your heart rate. And anyway, nonetheless, so some of the self-care routines that I have now created for myself has been not just working out, but also ensuring that my skin is well taken care of. Another thing in addition to that is eating healthy. So I've changed my diet tremendously. And not that I'm on a particular diet or on a particular plan, but what I am doing is ensuring that what I put into my body is good for my health. So some of the things that I've cut out to ensure that I live a healthy life is I try to cut out potato chips. So I don't eat chips all the time. I don't know if I even really like it, but when I go in the food store, for some reason it seems to call me, and I don't know. Those nachos are like, yeah, I think that's one of the things that eating healthy and living a healthier lifestyle or a healthy life is decreasing sugar intake as well. So not snacking as much. Oh, and another thing that I snacked on a lot. So not just chips. Used to be, so it's chips and pies. So those Debbie pies with the raspberry filling. Oh my goodness. I love it. But now I've reduced my intake to the point where I don't want to say I've stopped, because if you see me in the food store and you see it in my hand, I don't want you to feel as if I'm lying, but I really do try. So living a much healthier lifestyle is one of the main things that I have started doing during this season. So a part of my self-care, all of these things, eating healthy, working out, ensuring that I pay attention to, or pay attention to my heart rate, ensuring that I spend 30 minutes to an hour of vigorous activity so that you can increase your heart rate. You're ensuring that the blood is pumping through your body real well. So that's eating healthy, working out, and like your self-care routine. So giving myself a facial every 10 to 14 days, and taking care of my body. So giving my body its own regimen with a scrub. So during the same time, 10 to 14 days. So a body scrub, cleansing, moisturizing, and then the specific oils that I now use on my skin. I don't know why I sound so I feel like I'm not speaking clear. I feel like my mind may be a little bit filled with a lot of things, so I do apologize if that comes off like I'm not paying attention to you, but there is just a lot happening on the road today, so I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm saying to you and keep my mind focused on the conversation, as well as paying attention to the things around me. And I try to park on the side sometimes and talk, but today I have to get on the other side of the city real quick. But what has been some of the regimens that you've made for yourself, for your self-care routine? Let me know in the comments, and let me know some of your faves, because listen, I really need to ensure that I give myself facials every so often, as well as so I talked about self-care, and I also ensure that I'm groomed in terms of my facial hair. So sometimes I grow a little bit of hair around my chin, and ensure that my eyebrows are waxed, my underarms are waxed, and my legs are waxed. So yes, I do wax. So what else? So that is my kind of self-care, or just talking a little bit of how you can incorporate some level of self-care, taking time out for yourself as a mom. Even when Maisha was a bit younger, I think I did it more often though. I had self-care as a weekly thing, because I felt more overwhelmed, I felt more frustrated, I felt tired. So I had self-care routines that was weekly rather than every 2 weeks. So my weekly routine, if you're a mom, you have multiples. I didn't have multiples, I only have one kid. So if you have multiples, I think you need to pay attention to yourself a little bit more. And all of this ties into your mental health. This helps to reduce anxiety, frustration, and it just keeps you on top of your game, like ensuring that you look good, you feel good, you are desirable, especially if you're listening to this video. So you're looking to date, you're looking to be married, and we want a sustainable relationship. We want somebody that loves us, that not just accepting us because we wear our little, our little bonnets and all that stuff. No, you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to look good. You're going to smell good. You're going to feel good. Like, we want all the things to work together for our good. And sometimes we want to pray some of these things away, but there are some things that you need to do. If you have multiples, girl, this is not expensive. You can go to a Walmart, a Walgreens, a Lowe's. If you're in the Bahamas, you can go to, Lowe's. That's where I got some of my oils and lotions and cleansers from. Go to these places, spend $20, spend $50, and create your routine, rather than maybe having to go to like a professional. You may not be able to afford to go to a professional, but what you can do is learn some of these routines, some of the things that you can do so that you can maintain yourself. Oils, moisturizers for the skin, the face, that they are things, even if you were to go to a professional initially and ask them for a routine for yourself. Ask them for their recommendations on products, what kind of products to use, how often should you use it, what else would you need. You may need, like, if you shave or wax, you may need, whatever tools and supplies that comes with that, and that helps to reduce your cost. A lot of things I do myself because the cost is just too high for all the self-maintenance. If I were to go to a professional to get waxed, yeah, that's in the hundreds already. So some things you can do yourself. There are YouTube videos where you can learn how to do it. But what I'm specifically talking about is creating a routine for yourself, creating or making sure that you find things that work for you. Even when I have wash day, like washing my hair, one of the things that, and I'm sure you can see it in some of my past videos, those moisturizers and shampoos that I used prior, they did not work for me. They did not work. My hair was always dry. It did not look good. It did not look sleek. It did not look nice. And because I used products and I didn't try out products, I just bought a whole, bunch of products and used them regardless of the outcome. So I was just like, I spent $100, and these hair products are not cheap. So I bought a whole line. Instead of trying out one thing and seeing if it works for me, I just bought a whole line of things. It didn't work, because I think one of the things that I started with was Cantu. Cantu left my hair dry and brittle. What was the next thing? I used the shea moisturizers. I just found that I didn't like it. It just didn't stick with me. I can't say that it was more dry than the Cantu, but I just know it just didn't work for my hair. What else did I use? And what else? I think it was like African Pride. That was another product that I used. I found that worked better than many others, to be honest. Like, I know that some of us, we're just like, oh, we shouldn't be using these hair brands, blah blah blah. But there are a few things that I have to take into consideration. We don't have a lot of options here in the Bahamas. Everything has to be shipped or imported. So if it's not here, that would mean if I'm going to try this thing out and it actually doesn't work, or it works, I have to go back and reorder and then wait for however long, 2 weeks, I think, usually when I order stuff. So they're the things that I'm considering. But if you're anywhere else and you have these things that are easily accessible to you, use them. Take care of yourself as a mom. Take care of you. If you're a mom and you're already married, take care of you. You're not taking care of you for him. You're taking care of you because your body is a temple of the Lord. This is what we do, girl. We have to take care of ourselves. And so me talking about self-care today, the reason I'm talking about self-care is because there are many times, and I feel like it's not spoken about in the body of Christ, when we become Christians, or I've seen Christian women that get married, and it's somehow after getting married, it's downhill from there. Like, they just don't take care of themselves. So if it's the means of, if it's finances, if it's the fact that, oh yeah, I got the man now, I don't have to worry, but I don't know what it is. But all I know, what I'm saying to you, girly, is start your routine even while you're dating, even when you haven't met the person, even when you don't think you need to. Start your routine so it is a routine. It's something that you already do, so that when you're married and when you have kids and when life gets a little bit busy, you already have this routine in your schedule. Maintenance of your hair, maintenance of your skin, your face, your body, maintenance of your nails. If you don't believe in acrylics or all that stuff, it's still just making sure that you clip your nails down, file them, and make sure that they're properly shaped. If you wear polish, ensuring that the polish isn't chipped, and you have your nails manicured on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. This sounds like high maintenance, but you're setting your boundaries early. You're setting your boundaries for the person that's going to marry you. They see that you have this routine. They see that you have this care plan. And so when they meet you, and you've already created a standard for yourself. So, girl, I'm about to head into my client, and I will see you in the next video. Peace in, y'all.